What's up, everybody? This is Ashraf from Ash English. Lovely to have you here. Welcome to a stunningly beautiful lesson. Today I'm here to talk about would. It's actually a pretty confusing lesson because the word would is used in variety of situations, variety of ways in English. The meaning of would depends completely on the situations. It can be present, past, or future. Alright? So before we get started, I want to give you a high five. So, roll up your sleeves. Let me try get into the lesson. Number one. The word would is used to give advice. Okay, let's have some examples. Number one, I wouldn't worry about it if I were you. I wouldn't worry about it if I were you, which means I advise you not to worry about it. Alright? Would is used to give advice. Alright, next example. If I were you, I would smash the subscribe button. Next example could be I would talk to the teacher if I were you. Okay, number two, polite offers. Alright, let's have some examples. Would you like to sing? Would you like to eat something? Would you like to dance? Instead of asking, do you want to sing? Do you want to eat something? It's a great way to offer something. Alright? Next, used in polite requests. Would you mind? Would you mind? Okay? Would you mind plus ing. Let's have some examples. Would you mind waiting outside? Which means, do you have any problem with waiting outside? It's a great way to ask. It's a great way to request, especially to strangers. Alright, let's take another example. Would you mind repeating that, please? Would you mind repeating? Alright, next. Would you mind saying a little bit about that? Would you mind? Great way. Next, number four, used in polite requests. Another structure. Would it be okay? Would it be okay? Alright, would it be okay if I used the toilet? In this case, we use simple past. Would it be okay if I used the toilet? Next example. Would it be okay if I used your phone, your car? Alright. Again, polite requests. Similar structure. Would it be alright instead of would it be okay? Another structure is would it be alright? Let's have some examples. Would it be alright if I used your car? Instead of asking would it be okay, you can ask would it be alright? Next example. Would it be alright if we moved on to another topic? Alright. Next. Would it be alright if I asked a question? Would it be alright if I asked a question? Okay, again, polite requests. Another structure. Would you be able to? Would you be able to? Alright, let's have some examples. Would you be able to slow down? Would you be able to slow down? Next, would you be able to tell us more about it? Next, would you be able to do me a favor? Next example. Instead of saying I want, the polite version of I want. Alright? I'd like to speak to Mr. Ryan Jude Wright. Instead of saying I want to. I want it's a rude way. This is not a great way to ask something. Alright? So I'd like instead of I want, the polite version of I want. Next example. I'd like to go to the park this evening. Next example could be I'd like some orange juice instead of I want some orange juice. Okay? Next, 8. In reported speech or in direct speech. In reported speech, will becomes would. Let's have an examples. One of your friends, Tom, said, I will go to the beach later. This is the exact words of your friend Tom. He said, I will go to the beach later. Now you say this to someone. He said that he would go to the beach later. Will becomes would in reported speech. Alright, let's have another example. Indirect speech. In direct speech, I'll come later. He said, your friend said, I'll come later. Now you say this to someone. Indirect speech, reported speech, will, should be, would. Alright? I will come later. He said that he would come later. Next, number 9. Would rather. This is a great way to talk about your preferences. Polite way to talk about your preference. Okay, let's have some examples. I would rather go to the park. I would rather becomes I'd rather. Great way to talk about your preference. Next example. I would rather not go to the beach. I'd rather not go to the beach. Next example. I'd rather be a teacher than be a salesman. Alright. Next example. Another structure. Talking about preference. We've got another structure. Would sooner. But this is not common. Would rather is common than would sooner. Okay, let's take up some examples. I would sooner give up sleep than miss my evening class. Another way to talk about your preference. Would sooner. Alright? I would sooner not talk about it. Alright? Asking about preference. Would rather. Would you rather walk or take the bus? Would you rather have tea or coffee? Next, number 12. Talking about repeated actions in the past. Repeated actions in the past. Alright? I would write research papers when I was a graduate student. Okay? Now you don't write any research papers. Next example. He would always turn and wave at the end of the street. Next. We would often go for long walks in the park. Next. Number 13. Would is used in formal writing. Formal writing in emails and letters. Alright? Let's have some examples. I'd be grateful if you send me your catalog as soon as possible. I would be grateful if you would send me your brochure as soon as possible. Next, I'd be grateful if you could call me. Okay? Now, we've got some more structures to discuss, but these are quite complicated. Next, second conditional. I'll make a separate video on this in the future. Okay? Talking about imaginary situation. Talking about hypothetical situations. Present or future meaning. In this case, we use simple past, but the meaning would be present or future, not past. Meaning is not past. Alright? Let's have some examples. If I found a mobile in the street, I would take it to the police. If I found a mobile in the street, this situation is imaginary. It's not a real situation. Alright? It's not real. Next example. If I were younger, I would play football. So we use this structure to talk about imaginary situation, hypothetical situation, unlikely. Alright? If I were younger, I would play football. I'm not younger. Next example. If I had more money, I would buy a better car. I don't have money. Alright? So it's imaginary, hypothetical situation. Next, number 15. Would is used to ask about hypothetical questions, imaginary questions. Okay? Let's take up a couple of examples. What would you do if you quit your job? You didn't quit your job. Alright? Next example. What would you do if you lost your job? You have got your job. Hypothetical, imaginary, it's not real. Okay, next question. If you won $1 million, would you give it to charity? You didn't win $1 million. It's unlikely. It's not real, unlikely. Imaginary situation, hypothetical. Alright? Next. What would you do if you found a mobile in the street? You didn't find. Hypothetical. All right. Now, it's about number 16. Third conditional. It's quite complicated because we need to use, in this case, we need to use past perfect, would have, past participle. I've made a separate video on this lesson. So this is a third conditional. It's used to talk about unreal situations. The meaning is past, to talk about imaginary, unreal situation. Okay? Let's have some examples. If I had gone to the party last week, I would have met lots of people. All right? What does it mean? Did I go to party last week? Did it happen? No, it didn't happen. I didn't go to the party. Did I meet lots of people? No, I didn't. So the meaning would be, I didn't go to the party last week, so I didn't meet a lot of people. All right? The meaning is past. Next example. If I had studied medicine, I would have been a doctor. Imaginary. This is not real. The meaning is past, which means I didn't study medicine, so I didn't become a doctor. All right? We use this structure to imagine a different past, different to the one actually happened. All right? One more example. If I had known you were coming, I would have got your room ready. If I had known you were coming, I would have got your room ready. Did I know you were coming? No, I didn't know. Okay? Now, 17. Asking about unreal past situation. Past unreal situations. All right. What would have happened if I hadn't been here? Next, what would have happened if I hadn't stopped him? Did I stop him? Yes, I stopped him. Alright guys, we've come to the end. That's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, please smash the subscribe button and tap the notification. Cheers guys.